Why, hello, friend. Welcome to the John Cast. Intern John is my name.
I'm Sos.
A huge thanks to our sponsor today, Hellringer Advertising. We have used Hellringer for basically everything merch related for, I don't know, 10 years maybe?
Probably.
So if you have a company and you need merch for giveaways or for company shirts, or if you're doing like a pop-up, maybe you have your own, like you go to festivals or county fairs, whatever, they do shirts, they do hats, they do stickers, they do banner roll, they do literally everything. And I've always said that I knew I liked Joe of Hellringer Advertising. When he reached out about doing merch for the tour, and I was like, well, what's the minimum order we need for merch? He goes, 1.
Yeah.
And we're pretty firm on that. And I was like, well, no, that's funny. That's funny as hell. So
no, he's great.
When it comes to merch, I have made the mistake before of using like the big name sites where they see advertised online.
Yeah.
And you think like, oh, one shirt would be cheap, it'd be great. And you realize the one shirt's like $70.
Yeah.
And the quality's not good because it's not even made here. And like Hellringer does a great job of making sure it's done well, because there's nothing worse than buying merch and it sucks.
Or it's not consistent. And with them, it's always consistent.
Well, because with your merch, you want it to be something that you're proud that your logo's on.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than getting it's the worst experience ever.
It truly is.
So Hellringer Advertising, huge thanks to them. I mean, anything, they got you covered. Sos, how's life recently? How are you doing?
It's good. Hanging in there. Just a lot. A lot's been going on. But, can't believe it's like halfway through August.
I know.
It's like that's stressing me out. But
I know.
Other than that, I mean, it's going.
I have a bone to pick.
Okay.
Not with you, but I was leaving Fox 5 the other day.
Okay.
And Alex and I decided we wanted to go to get a drink in Bethesda.
Nice.
Parking in Bethesda, they intentionally make it where it's like you don't quite know when you need to pay to park. So park in the garage by caddies. I'm very OCD about like, I'm not going to take a risk. Like, oh, just if you get a ticket, you get a ticket. And I'm like, why would I'd rather pay $5 than pay $50. So they have the Park Mobile app, which usually is fine. So we pull in at like 7:48-ish.
Sure.
Open up Park Mobile. They've updated the app. It used to be like an analog clock where you had to put in the amount of hours and you scroll. So like an hour and a half, whatever. Open up the app. It looked like a stopwatch and it was at 12 minutes. So to 8 o'clock.
So how do you
Well, in my mind, I go, oh, it must be parking is free after 8 o'clock because that's all it is.
7:48.
It's 12 minutes. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool. Pay like $2. Go in, have a drink, come back, ticket on the car. And I'm like, I paid though. I realized when I opened the app again, it is now a scroll system, like a Nest thing. Yeah. So 12 minutes is the minimum. I was supposed to scroll and keep scrolling like you're turning the thermostat until you get to 2 hours, whatever.
That is weird that 12 minutes would be the minimum.
But I was so pissed because I'm like, this is kind of misleading, but also I'm like, it's not worth going to court for because I don't think the judge would side with me because technically it was my fault. Although it just happened to line up that way where it looked like all I had to do is pay for 12 minutes.
Yeah, that is weird.
I'm not a fan.
Because I was in Bethesda last week for a doctor's appointment and I saw the new Park Mobile thing, but I just like automatically turned it to an hour though because I didn't know how long I'd be at the doctor.
But was it like the thermostat one or the number one? I didn't realize that's my.
But I only knew because I was looking. I was like, what do I do?
It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I was like, what do I do? And then I was at the doctor for literally 15 minutes, I think.
Well, the first time I left my phone at Alex's place, so Alex's apartment used to be like used to be a pretty cool setup. It had like gym and grocery and all this stuff, and that kind of stuff moved out. But it was like they start towing after like 10 p.m. Okay. Which I hate. Apartment complexes do that. It's like, go to hell, dude.
Yeah.
Like
just leave a ticket. Just like stop making it feel inconvenient.
So the first time I stayed there, we forgot to do the parking. Yeah. And so she was like, they might have towed your car. Yeah. That elevator ride down, she didn't say a word. Because I knew she was like, he'll never come back again. Yeah. Thank God the car was there.
Yeah, my apartment complex, we don't have guest parking.
So stupid. But hers is weird because there's a car that's been parked in the same spot probably for a year. Now, we've only been dating for 8 months because it has so much dirt on it and the tag expired. Where my thought was like, hopefully this person's okay. Yeah. Because it's legit caked in dust and they must have a paid parking permit. Otherwise they'd be towed. Yeah. So like, hopefully they're not just dead in their room, which is a horrible thing to say. Yeah. But you hear about all the time where it's like, oh, but they kept paying their bills, which I've always thought is the worst flex of all time. If I died or like, you would know because the bills aren't getting paid.
It's not going to keep coming out.
Instantly something's off. It's not like, oh, he was dead for 3 years, but all of his bills are paid on time. And that's why I don't do auto pay.
Okay.
That and I don't have the money to auto pay, but that's when to auto pay because I don't want to be like, we didn't know for a month.
Well, didn't I tell you how at my apartment complex, when I first moved into where I live now, how for probably like the first 6 months, I just kept parking next to this one car and it never moved.
Yeah.
And it says in your lease that you can't leave a car just sitting there. So I was like, that's crazy because my parking garage, my where I live, they tow you for anything.
Yeah.
They've towed almost all my friends. Knock on wood, you're not towing me. But I found out a few weeks ago because my friend was like, she just got laid off from her job as well. And she's like, oh, it's like in my car. I was like, I forgot that you have a car here. And I was like, it's that Jeep in the parking garage. She's like, no, it's not. It's not that one. She's like, no, it's like, you have the wrong floor. So like, we're going down just for her to get shoes out. We had been drinking, but we were just getting shoes out. We weren't turning on the car. We're getting shoes out to take upstairs to sell. I'm just saying that out there. So I was like, girl, I know your car. She's like, no. So we go to the floor. She says it's on. I was like, can I just show you where your car is? And so I did. And that's the whole time. That's her car.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that.
And it's caged in dust. It hasn't moved.
I will say that my development apparently does tow. And I only know this because the only person I've known to be towed from my house in 10 years living here, Shelby Sauce.
Casual.
Might be asking yourself why. Well, I believe she was house sitting for Chewy back in the day. For whatever reason, you didn't want to park in the driveway. So you parked in guest parking and they were like, want to know what? Tow her.
Yeah, I don't know. That was weird.
But again, my HOA is famous for bigger issues. Nah, we'll take the stuff. Doesn't matter.
There's like glass on the sidewalk. No.
My house could be on fire and they'd be like, ooh, these shades weren't approved.
Yeah, your windows look weird.
I mean, again, HOA started with, I think, the best of intentions. My favorite HOA story for me is like I had a leaky roof. Like you could see it, like there's a big storm, leaky roof, had to replace the roof.
Yeah.
Which even with insurance, it's not fun.
Yeah.
It's not exciting. It's not like one of those like fun things where it's like, oh, this, I can't wait to use this.
Yeah.
You never really know you got a new roof.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My HOA sent me letters saying, hey, unauthorized use of a roof. You did not get this approved. You need to put the original one back up.
Literally.
And I took a deep breath and I emailed him like, do you think that I got a roof for aesthetic purposes?
Yeah. What?
There was like water damage. If you want, I can ask him, please put the default roof back up with damage and hope it makes neighbor's house mad too.
Wild.
But just like, I'm probably one of the youngest people here, just like relatively. Yeah. Do you think I have money to put a new roof on? Just I think it looks better.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going on here?
Like, have you seen my house?
Yeah.
Does it look like I'm like about aesthetics?
It was just like, who do you think lives here? Like, what year do you think it is? It's in the 50s where a roof is $10.
I know. Your HOA just always sends you stuff out the dumbest stuff.
Like when they complain about the bathroom windows being too foggy, I responded back, that's where the shower
That's where the shower is. What? I didn't build this house.
You know,
I talked about this like once years ago, how I was on this girl's TikTok who she had moved into an HOA and she just started spray painting her grass because she didn't know how to bring her grass back to life.
Yeah.
So she started spray painting it green. And then she like realized she's like, after like a few years, she's like, I actually can't keep this up because like now my grass is like all dead. It's just dirt.
Well, my parents' not to keep going HOAs, my parents' HOA in Lisa, Minnesota was like a pool, right? Mm-hmm. And they would like everybody paid their fees, went to one large pool.
Oh, not like an actual pool.
No,
okay.
But they would use that like everybody needs to get this fixed. It would go. That's what the fun would go for.
Sure.
My HOA, which I've complained about to you before, there's wood fences. You would think that. Yeah. The idea of the HOA is to make the neighborhood uniform, right? You would think there'd be a fund to replace all the fences at once because if you have a wood fence and you have a wood fence that's 20 years old versus one that's 20 hours old, it looks way different.
It looks a lot different.
And with us, like I share the fence with my neighbors, so it's hard to know who owns what part of the fence.
Yeah.
Like nobody knows.
Who's replacing it all?
And I've reached out to my HOA before, like we don't really do neighbor and neighbor conflict. Like when there was the tree of my neighbor hanging over the yard, and like we don't really do that. I'm like, then what do you do? And then I tried. They're like, and by the way, like the guy living next door, he was a Russian guy. Mm-hmm. I know that because his name was very Russian. Yeah, he had a Russian accent.
I also met him, but
he was renting the place out to a family who wasn't Russian. Yeah, and the HOA is like, no, his name, but Boris. Liz, I'm like, Boris is not a Hispanic family with 4 kids. Yeah. He's renting out the place. And they were like shocked. Yeah. And then the tree fell in the yard and you were back there.
I was here.
Thank God Chewy wasn't there.
I had Chewy outside though, literally minutes before that. So I was pissed. But I handled it.
Didn't he have his own chainsaw?
He had his own chainsaw. This was when there was that freak snowstorm. What was that? 2018 or something? But it was snowing in March. It was like the middle to end of March and you were stuck in Tampa, I think. And this man, after I go and like give him,
the business,
I tasted his own medicine. And I was like, also, that fire alarm needs its batteries replaced. And if I hear that one more time, it's been keeping me up all night because it was really loud. It was really loud.
Oh, but you could hear it from my place. Oh, that sucks.
Because I was going around, I'm like, what is that sound? And then it was his house, obviously. He's like, I don't have a ladder. I was like, okay, well, why don't you ask somebody? I was like, because I'm pretty sure, like, I thought you did. Long story short, he fixed that too. But yeah, this man climbed in the middle of a snowstorm with a chainsaw, a tree. Yeah. He climbed it. He did not use a ladder. Yeah. Even though I knew John had at least one ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah, he climbed it. It was crazy. I wish I took a video because I was just watching him out the window like, this man is crazy.
It is.
The chainsaw was on while he was doing this, by the way.
Of course. It is a wonder men have lasted as long as we have.
Yeah, like it really that was wild. What a time.
You can call the podcast 202-642-6272. That's 202-642-6272. Whether you have a question or just want to say hello. Let me go. This one from Sarah.
Hi, this is Sarah. I have messaged you both a lot on Instagram. Not a lot, not like a creepy lot, but enough. Been a listener from even before you guys were even on the show back in the day, which might age me, but either way, I love you guys. I missed you so much when you guys got totally. You'll have to dump that. But anyways, you did get, and I'm so glad you're back because I miss hearing both of your voices so much. And you brighten up my day, and you seriously just help me get through everything. Just living through your eyes, I guess. I don't even know. But anyways, I'm going to a concert tonight. I have 3 kids at home, and I don't get away very often, so I'm super excited. And just wanted to call you and say I love you, and keep on keeping on. You guys got this. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Sarah. First of all, that's what I've always loved about our listeners.
Thank you.
The dump thing is so funny because I feel like listeners obviously were aware of the dump, but sometimes they would say like poop. I'm like, oh, then they say, oh, F. And you realize I can't say poop. Like, no, poop is fine.
It's like, no, that's okay.
The F is what's wrong.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. But first of all, good for you for going to concerts.
Yeah, good for you.
I saw our friend Ramina reposted something, I think it was yesterday, about just go to the concert.
Yeah.
Just go to the concert.
Just go have fun.
Which I've said, like, I've done movies by myself. Yeah. I've done a hockey game by myself when I was in Toronto. I do think a concert by yourself, if it's a band that you really love,
yeah,
I'd rather do that than like if I had to take Alex to a concert where it's like, I love the band, she is going for me. Mm-hmm. I'd be afraid that she's not enjoying it as much. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'd rather go.
That's valid. That's valid.
Solo and like.
Because there's bands I'd like to see, and then I'm like, I don't think I'd have fun with any of my friends.
Yeah, because it's like, do you want to go to the concert? Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah.
Versus like, oh my God, XYZ's in town? Like, yeah, like, let's go.
Because I've gone to concerts with friends that, yes, I've been excited to go, but I don't like to be stuck in traffic leaving. So I'm like, all right, let's leave before the last song. The last song is usually the best songs, and nobody wants to ever do that. I'm
a very much check the set list type of gal. Like we saw Megan Maroney last year, and I wanted to see Third Tries the Charm. Like we stayed until that song, and it's like, oh, I'll at least see that one. When I saw Katy Perry with Hoodie last year this week. Yeah, because I want to see her do the one that got away, and then it's like, to your point, it's like, I just want to go.
Yeah,
like that's like, I think checking the set list for me, bathroom break, and then you can tell like when you need to leave by. Yeah. Again, the encore to me is the most overplayed thing in music. Yeah. And I think Adele did it best, where she's like, this is the part of the time where I go off stage, pretend I'm not going to do my biggest song.
Yeah.
Or Blink-182 is like, good night, DC, and we're back. Yeah. And they took one step back, and we're back.
I love it.
Encore used to be cool because it's like you're playing more songs. Now I think most venues, there's a curfew. So it's like you need to be off stage by 11. Or we charge you $5,000 for every 10 minutes.
Absolutely.
So I think it's kind of get ruined. But anyway,
I don't disagree.
That's my rant. But what I'm saying is go to the concert.
Go to the concert. Have fun.
202-642-6272 is the number to call. Today's GOAT list.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Sos. I want to do the greatest TV shows / movies we never got into.
Yeah.
Because there's those shows where everybody says, oh, you need to watch this.
But they might not even have been the greatest. They're just the most popular, very common.
Yeah. Like for me, like, I'll go first. For me, Friends.
Sure.
And I think the problem with Friends is like it's always on rerun if you watch TV. And so you never quite know where to start. I think I watched the first episode with you. I think you made me watch it. And I was like, I just don't.
Because I watched it. This was years ago. I don't know if I watched every season and every episode, but I watched most of it, I'd say, years and years ago. This was probably when I was in my late teens, early 20s. And I tried to rewatch it a few years ago, and I just did not get into it. And maybe it's just, I don't know, me at the time. I can understand why people liked it. I'm not hating on Friends. I just could not get into it. I was surprised I watched as much as I did.
I do think it's one of those things where when people hype something up so much, there's no way it's going to be.
Yeah. So I was just wondering, like, Shelby, how did you watch so much?
Fair. All right, so my friend for me was Friends. How about you?
Okay, sorry, my phone just locked. I put Game of Thrones, and I know that I've said that, and I know that there's that meme about people who haven't seen Game of Thrones letting everyone know that they haven't seen it. I really haven't seen it because everybody compares all these books I read all the time to Game of Thrones. I'm like, never seen it, and then I hear. I'm not even being dramatic. I probably hear about once a week how I really missed out on not watching Game of Thrones. Well, I'm not going to start now.
Yeah, I would say that I think you would like it. However, it is such a time commit, and it is like I binged like one summer the whole series, and it was good. But it's one of the shows where I wouldn't watch it again.
Yeah,
because there's too much, and even like the sequel, the spinoff ones, it's like there's so much stuff. It's almost like Star Wars now, where it's like there's so much. If you can get in Star Wars, when we did, it's tough to get into it now. There's just a lot.
There's a lot.
I even feel behind in Star Wars. I'm not watching the news, like commercial, the cartoons ever. My next one. This is a big one for me. Big Bang Theory. I understand, like it's huge. They were getting, I think they were getting paid the highest salaries of any cast. So. Never quite got it.
Yeah. I've never even seen an episode of that.
Yeah, I think that's in college. Maybe I tried to watch it once with the girl because I thought she was pretty, and like to try to like, oh, go watch it in your dorm. But I never quite got the humor of it.
I thought that girl was funny. What's her name?
Kaylee Cuoco?
Yeah, I think she's funny.
I think the actors like Jim Parsons and Lucky, like I think they're funny. But and her name Miriam. I think she hosts Jeopardy. Like she's, but yeah. So that's my next one. How about you?
I put Sopranos next just because people always talk about it. I've never seen even an episode of that either.
I think you'd like Sopranos, but
I don't like blood. And like when I think of Sopranos or I think of Game of Thrones, I just think there's blood.
Yeah, and Sopranos. You know about the ending?
No, wait. You told me the ending.
Yeah, where like nobody quite knows if he dies or not. Basically, I think that's fair. I'm gonna go with The Bear. Which is the big like FX with what's his name? Everybody loves that guy.
Oh my god, what is his name? Starts with a J.
But no, he was like he did Springsteen. He's in Shameless.
Shameless, yeah.
I watched an episode and just thought, like, okay, it's just like a kitchen.
Yeah.
And thank you, chef. And like I said that as a joke in the kitchen, like when I'm like making peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
But I never quite like, oh, it's come back. I was like, I'm sure it's great, but this is not.
I don't get it. Especially didn't they win something for a comedy? I didn't ever think it was funny personally. But I saw the first season, and then it was like maybe season 2. I watched an episode or two, but the Christmas episode, it was just so overstimulating. And I know that you don't need a trigger warning for it or anything, but if you have a family that's loud like that and Italian like that, and it's so in your face, then it's a lot. And I was so overstimulated watching that episode, and I always felt like. When I watched it, it was just too much for me. That I was like, I don't find this enjoyable at all.
I think that's
everybody's just yelling at each other, and then it's just chaotic. And I'm like, this is my life already. Why am I sitting on my couch watching this?
Sir, your next one.
Oh, my next one. Yeah. Oh yeah. I did Stranger Things.
What?
I know. I think I only watched like the first season, maybe the second season, and I'm pretty sure I only watched the second season because everybody at work was talking about it. I just didn't not like the first season. Yes, the first season I did get into. Second season, I just was like over it.
Second season is horrible.
After that, like I never have watched it again. I just didn't care.
Yeah, I think Stranger Things, we're all just hoping for the first season to come back.
Yeah, the first season was fun. I like the nostalgia. I thought it was interesting. I like the vibe. But then after that, the second season was like, I don't even think I watched all of the second season. And now I don't know what happened, obviously.
There's 2 left. I'll go Lost.
Oh, yeah. I think I've seen an episode of Lost.
Yeah, so Alex tried to get me to watch it, but then she spoiled the ending like 2 episodes in. And I was like, all right, so we don't need to really watch it anymore.
It's like a ton of seasons though.
Yeah, well, it's also like 20 episodes a season. And like when you see like, oh my God, I still have like 100 episodes left, that becomes a bit daunting.
Doesn't it? Like I think on one of the lists, once that we read or something, it was like one of the worst series endings though.
Yeah, what show had a good ending?
I don't know.
Like, oh, that was good.
Heart of Dixie.
Your next one's Sos.
I put Seinfeld. I've never seen an episode. Yeah. Everybody's like, oh, but I think it's fine. Okay, I'm just telling you, I've never seen it and I don't care to.
I read something that he only got Seinfeld because the network, I can't remember what network it was on, was afraid he was going to go to like NBC and do his own late night show.
Oh, okay.
So they were like, hey, we'll just give him this. And then he apparently has printed the first, like, not peer review, but not taste test. What do you like? Test audience review
Yeah,
of the
whatever
show.
that, yeah.
And the first word is test review week.
Oh.
And that's the
I mean, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, I don't care. Do you?
I also think the folks have to give reviews sometimes. Like they are trying to be like, I know more.
Yeah, they're trying.
I'm playing God. My last one, the GOAT shows I've never watched or tried to get into. Peaky Blinders.
Oh, I've watched the first episode of that show 3 different times, and everybody says give it a chance because why would I not want to watch something with this guy Thomas Shelby? Like, love the last name,
Of course.
But I don't. It's so slow.
Didn't you go with him for Halloween?
No, I went to a
party?
Peaky Blinders party.
There it is.
And I was Thomas Shelby.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I don't get it. Maybe I do have to get into it, guys.
Do you have a last one? Do you have one more?
My last one was Love Island. Just I don't watch reality TV. It's just not my thing. And we've talked about it here a few times already, just how like time consuming it is anyway. I just don't care.
Love Island, I was also that way. Alex got me in, but again, that one I've said before, it's like 5 episodes a week.
Yeah, we've talked about it here a lot lately for some reason, but just I don't need to.
And I know they say don't judge a book by its cover, but there's a guy in the show named Sincere, and I was like, nah.
He's not very sincere.
Like if you have name your kids, and I used to have a joke about this, like give your kid a unique name, like name your kid Genius doesn't make them smarter, it makes you dumb.
Yeah.
Like, and of course, Sincere is the biggest POS, although he was honest about it. He's just kind of doing his thing. But if you have a suggestion for GOAT list, you can DM at the Intern John Show. Let me get to this too real quick for your Wednesday. The work habits that are secretly depression in disguise.
Okay.
So if you're doing these things, you think maybe you're being more like locked in, but it's really just you're trying to avoid your actual feelings.
Depressed. Okay.
Starting with you're working harder than ever to avoid going home.
Oh, I mean, I think that I've done that. I've definitely done that in the past. I don't know if it's because I was depressed. I mean, I must have been depressed if I didn't want to go home.
Well, they say it has to do with validation. And I do think that's fair. So if you don't feel like your partner's giving you kudos at home for doing cleaning or cooking, but at work, it's like you do X, you get Y. Yeah,
like your boss is like, oh, wow, like look at like, your output for the day or whatever.
Which I think that makes sense.
Okay.
Because I've heard like I've heard guys talk about your wife can give you a list of 10 things to do. You can do 9 things right. And instead of focusing on that, she focuses on the one thing you didn't do right. And how then it's like after a while, you're like, well, then why am I doing anything? And then yeah.
So
I think that's kind of fair. They see somebody who's working more hours than usual, maybe raising their hand to go on a long business trip. Validation and recognition at work tend to feel better than having to confront a relationship that may be over. Yeah. Or a family member that may be having their own kind of.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely been times where I've been going through like ending things with somebody where I just want to work. Like, I don't want to think about anything else. So I'm like, this is good.
Yeah, because I think with like work, for the most part, you put the work in, you see the results. Yeah. Or at least you think you see the results quickly. Other like relationships, it can take a long.
Yeah, I don't want to go home and lay on my couch and be sad.
I had coworkers who would stay at work just to avoid going home. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's probably not a good sign. Yeah. I know I'm young, but that doesn't seem like it's really smart. Mm-hmm. You were once a social butterfly. Now you avoid coworkers.
Oh, because you probably just don't want to talk about anything, especially when you're really down. And then because we've all been there. We all have feelings. We all get sad sometimes. But there are times, when, especially with coworkers, if you're not close with them and you're just not having like the best day or just like off, and they keep asking what's wrong. It's like, I don't need to talk to you about this.
Yeah, I think that's fair, especially because like friends at work versus like friends. Because there's friends you have at work you're cool with, and there's friends at work you have outside though too. Yeah, I'm saying actually hang out with, and like those are 2 completely different friends.
But also, like sometimes if it's something like very sensitive and you're just really emotional already, and you start talking about it, you might start crying or something. And I don't want to be crying at work.
I think that's fair. They say if somebody used to be like overly active in meetings, now they're quiet or sit in the back, or they miss meetings altogether. Yeah, that's a sign something's going on.
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah,
I think that's
we've all been there.
Fair. Yes. You are continuously missing deadlines and meetings
because you're just distracted with your own sadness, your own feelings. I mean, because especially when you're depressed though, and if you're trying to work and you're trying to get through that, and it's already so hard just to show up at work, it makes sense that you would, fall behind because you're not dealing with your sadness. And even if you are dealing with it, it still can hold you up.
But I also feel like there's a danger in life when it feels like you're running on the treadmill. Yeah. Like where it's like you're running fast, but you're going nowhere. And like at work where it's like, if there's no signs of like my work matters or there's growth or I get credit for it, why am I going to keep going? Yeah. I think I'm lucky I'm a motivated person in general. Cause I look back sometimes I go, oh, I think most people would have stopped coming in at 3:30.
Absolutely.
And like stopped doing so much because what was the actual point?
What was I really working towards? And that makes sense, especially when you're depressed though. And if you feel like there's no reason that things are working out or going towards anything, just being stagnant because you're like, I'm just so sad. Like, I honestly think that like right now, like I'm just not in the best headspace. If I had like a 9 to 5, I probably would just want to read at my desk and I would get fired. Like, actually.
And if you're a future employer listening, she's kidding.
I'm joking.
We don't have desks anyway.
I've read so much this summer. I'm good for the rest of my life.
But to our future employer, listen, we don't have desks.
Yeah.
So that's not what she means.
I can't be reading when he's talking to me.
Oh, there would be times where like we'd be in the studio during like a long break and she'd be on her phone and say something. She goes, I'm reading. I'm like, oh, yeah. Sorry, forgive me.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Bro.
I'm like, what are you reading? Some history? It's like, no, the girl.
Like, can you shut up?
Sos loves books about the girl somewhere. It's always the girl on the plane, the girl on the train, the girl in the woods, the girl underground. There's always a girl somewhere, and that girl shouldn't be there because she's going to find trouble.
Okay.
What's the lie?
I feel like I haven't read books like that in quite some time.
But for a while, that was your go-to.
Yeah, I feel like it's like the woman in the window, the woman across the lake.
That woman needs to be at home. I just
kept leaving books at John's house.
Yeah, between leaving the books here, but you would take off like books on my shelf, leave them here, and then like my Netflix would be like, oh, I'm about to get targeted ads for estrogen. Like for sure.
I mean, what a time.
And it helped me regulate. So I appreciate that. Yes.
And now we're synced up.
That probably happened a long time ago.
Probably.
Yeah. I'm not moody. You get moody.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I just get bloaty.
I get bloated and hungry and mean.
Yeah. Every time you leave here, like, do you have any snacks?
Well, because like it takes me so long to get home.
But every time I always say, do you want breakfast? I go, no, I'm not hungry. And then, do you have any snacks? And you complain about the snacks I have, which is offensive because you're not exactly the queen of good snacks. Your snacks are for like forest people.
Right now.
Yeah, if the hobbits came by, like, here, Shelby has bark for you guys.
All I have is tortilla chips and tortillas for some reason.
And not real tortilla chips. It's probably like
these are.
Well, anyway, real quick, you having an angry outburst at work.
Okay, because like everything's like building up, and you're especially if you're holding everything in. That can happen easy. That can happen so easily at work, especially if you're stressed out too.
Yeah, I think there's folks at work who don't realize because you're in a professional setting, people don't freak out on you like they would outside the office.
Absolutely.
Like you are like, oh my God, my family thinks I'm annoying, but my coworkers don't. No, your coworkers are paid to tolerate you.
Yes.
They also think you're annoying, perhaps more, but they just can't say it because they don't want to go to HR.
Literally.
And there's those people who just think that, and then it's like, no, like you are a pain in the ass. If you slap your cousin, you'll get disciplined at home. If I slap a coworker, you'll get in trouble or not, depending on where you work.
Yeah, it depends on
where you work. Absolutely. Last one, you lose motivation or interest in the work you used to enjoy.
I feel like that goes like hand in hand with like missing deadlines, because I think that you start missing the deadlines if you just aren't even enjoying it anymore, especially if you're depressed.
Well, I think that's a huge thing too, because it's a difference if you didn't like your job and now it's just miserable. But like if you genuinely enjoyed your job, like I know like Alex has a bunch of teacher friends who recently have like they stopped teaching because like they realized they didn't enjoy it anymore. It's not because of the kids.
No.
Education is the most ass backwards thing where you would think the folks making decisions would come from education. Yeah. And they don't.
They don't.
It's not a thing.
It sucks.
Yeah. They say there's a difference between a one-time boring assignment and a worrisome pattern of not caring.
I mean, that makes sense though, because especially if, like you said, like if you used to really care about it and now you don't at all, like that's saying like a lot about your mental health. Yeah.
Because I would always get up excited to go to the station.
Yeah, like even if I was having a bad day and my life was falling apart, I still got excited to go to work.
Yeah, so there you go. You deserve to be happy. I think life's too short. I know that's like such a overused phrase, but it's true. Speaking of Hellringer Advertising, they do our merch. The merch store is open at johncast.com. Make sure you share with a friend, by the way. If you know somebody who listens or used to listen to the radio program, make sure you share this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can follow Sos
at Shelby Sos.
Follow me at Intern John Radio. Follow the show at The Intern John Show. We'll see you on Friday. Bye-bye.